The Chain of Contamination. Detective Callum Rourke had seen bodies in rivers before, but never like this. Antoine LeClerque, the chairman of a sprawling conglomerate, was found drowned in his own penthouse fish tank. The tank, once a pristine display of exotic aquatic life, was now filled with effluent and sludge. The glass was intact, the doors locked, no sign of forced entry. Every rich man has enemies, but this seemed overly excessive a modus operandi, like it was retribution. Eco-terrorist, perhaps? The coroner's report was clinical: asphyxiation, toxic exposure, and a grotesque bloom of algae in the lungs. A horrible death, almost biblical in its execution. The death was a complete mystery. There were no clues to be found, no forensics, no CCTV footage of anyone entering the building and going to the top floor. The police were basically stumped. Then Rourke discovered an earlier murder of a similar strangeness to it. A regional director of a company called Clearflow, found crushed in his bathtub beneath a mound of dead fish, their eyes milky, their gills clogged with silt. Clearflow was one of LeClerque's many holdings, which prompted the police on the case to look closer. As Rourke dug deeper, the deaths began to accumulate, each more bizarre than the last. A compliance officer electrocuted in a decorative fountain, the water thick with industrial runoff. Another man drowned in his koi pond, the fish belly up, the water black as oil. Each victim had ties to Clearflow. Each had signed off on cost-cutting measures that led to untreated waste spilling into rivers, lakes and reservoirs. Each had climbed the corporate ladder by stepping on the throat of the earth. Rourke began to see the pattern, a chain reaction of death climbing the hierarchy of guilt. The breakthrough came at a psychiatric ward in Essex. A man named Ellis, the sole survivor of a disaster at a water treatment facility. His team had died in a sudden flood of sludge and chemical foam. Ellis had nearly drowned in it, pulled from the wreckage with septic shock and a raging infection. Sepsis had ravaged his body. He'd been catatonic for months. But something stirred in him when Rourke arrived. A whisper, a gurgle, a description of an entity. Ellis had confessed to the entity, a being of water and wrath awakened by desecration. He'd named his superior, and chronologically, that person had been the next victim. The entity had been killing its way up the chain of command, each victim pointing it to its next. Rourke traced the deaths. They followed company hierarchy like a divine hit list. The river god, ancient, forgotten, furious, was killing its way up the ladder and had finally reached the top with LeClerque's demise. That must be the end of it, Rourke surmised, a trail of corpses that had swept away all those responsible. That night, Rourke sat on the toilet, staring at the floor. He thought about responsibility, about complicity, about how guilt dilutes, spreads, infects. He recalled that part of his pension was invested in Clearflow. He had not done his research on their dubious practices when he had bought the shares. They just seemed like a good bet. A sudden thought struck him as he sat there. What do the bigwigs always say? We only do what we do for our shareholders. The pipes beneath him gurgled. Suddenly a spout of water shot out between his legs. It was water, but it did not act by the laws of liquid dynamics. It coiled around his body and began inexorably to pull him downwards. And somewhere in the dark, the river god moved on, its retribution not yet complete.